Yo, what's up everybody? My name is Yeston. Welcome back to another video. Yeah. It is tier list time once again. For today's video, I thought wouldn't it be cool if we did a flag tier list? You know, the designs of flags. But the thing is that, you always see like people critiquing the design of like country flags, right? Or maybe US state flags or Canadian territory flags. It's very common. And the thing with a lot of country flags is that they're all just like two or three solid colors, and that's just about it. Nothing interesting. So I decided, why don't we do city flags? And in this case, I would start off with a lot of like big US cities, because I feel like that kind of thing is usually overlooked. So why don't we take a dive into city flags and see which ones are great and which ones are bad? So, without further ado, let's get right into these city flags. I decided to go for the standard S, A, B, C, and D tiers. Nothing too creative this time, unlike my last two tier lists, which had the fantastic categories.
Casted into the pits of hell!
So I have 19 city flags here, and if you guys want to see me do another one, definitely can, and I'll throw in more city flags. I might go for international cities at that point too. So to start off, we have the city of Boston, Massachusetts. The thing with Boston's flag, and it's a little issue with a lot of US flags when it comes to like US states and US cities, it's nothing special. It's a solid color background with in this case, the city emblem in the middle. I'm not gonna say it's bad. I'm just saying it's not all that creative. You know, the city emblem is what probably took most of the time, and then they just chose a color and threw the emblem on it, and it's really not all that interesting. So we're gonna start off with D tier immediately for Boston, and I'm sorry, but it's just creativity is necessary. Next up, we have my home city flag. So I might be slightly biased, but also going to try to not be. This is the Chicago flag. The Chicago flag is typically referred to as being one of the better of the city flags, or just flags in general in the US. It is a very simple but yet creative and effective design. So the flag is split up into three different main parts. The white and the blue represents the city's geography. The three sections of white being the northwest and south sides of the city. Now, technically, we do have an east side, but that's all the way in the south, and when the flag was made, it wasn't really part of Chicago. It's also really tiny and usually isn't really referred to. The two blue lines represent Lake Michigan and then the Chicago River. And then finally, the 4 6-pointed red stars represent 4 different, very important vital points in Chicago's history. The first one being Fort Dearborn, which was the first permanent settlement in what is Chicago today, which obviously was a military fort. The second one being the Great Chicago Fire of 1871, which is what drastically helped reset the city and kind of get it into this new era almost. The third one is the World Columbian Exhibition that took place in 1893, and then the fourth one is the Century of Progress Exposition, which was another world fair that took place from 1933 to 1934, also in Chicago. Creatively, like I said, it is a very simplistic design, but it holds an extreme amount of meaning, and putting aside the fact that I'm from Chicago, it's definitely one of the better looking flags in my personal opinion. It has the simplicity, yes. It has, basic colors, kind of like a lot of flags, yes. But the meaning they hold, and then of course the way that they are positioned, the fact that it's just not like 3 different colored rectangles all next to each other, kind of like some countries' flags, that says a lot. I don't care. Screw all of you. S tier. Fight me. Next up, we have the flag of Des Moines, Iowa. I kind of like Des Moines' flag. It's a little different, You got the navy blue humps, which I'm assuming are probably supposed to be either rolling hills or maybe like rolls of like hay. Since Iowa and, where Des Moines is located is quite flat. There is also the red slanted part on the very left side. I'm not fully sure what that probably means. I don't know if maybe that's supposed to be somewhat representative of like the border where the Mississippi River cuts off Iowa and Illinois. I'm not fully sure if that's what it's supposed to represent. I mean, the fact that it's red and not blue kind of would throw me off in that sense. But overall, I think it's actually aesthetically not a bad flag whatsoever. I like that it takes the simple colors, but you know, it kind of works with the shapes a little bit and makes it different. It makes it interesting. So I'm gonna throw it in A tier, 100%. The only thing is that, you know, I might have to do a little bit more research on it, just to kind of like try to get the meaning a little bit more. Next up, we have the flag of New York City, and this kind of falls into the same issue as Boston's flag. It's your basic colors with an emblem on it. It's nothing great, you know. It looks like any other country's flag, just with New York's emblem on it. It's nothing interesting. The only reason I'm gonna throw it in C tier is because it has more colors than Boston's flag, but that's really the only reason. Actually, I'm throwing it down to D tier because the more I think about it, I think I like Boston's flag just a little bit more. The colors, I don't know why, the way that they're positioned on New York's flag, the basic country style, it looks wonky for some reason. I just don't like it. I think I prefer Boston's now that I think about it. Next up, we have the flag of San Diego, California, and it's sort of starting to, you know, get into the same groove. The colors work for its location, you know. It's on a coast, but it's also in the desert. So, you know, it sort of functions. But it's the same issue again. It's just an emblem. This time it has like the year that it was established under the emblem, but it's nothing too different. The only thing is I feel the colors work slightly better here than say like New York's, but for some reason Boston still feels more aesthetically pleasing. I'm gonna throw it above New York's, but still below Boston's. Next up, we have Miami's, which just looks like less like a desaturated form of India's flag, and it has again the emblem of Miami there in the middle. Now this one I will say I kind of like this one a little bit more than Boston's flag, just a little bit more. At least they decided to change the direction of where the rectangles of color are going, and then, you know, the emblem works very well with the colors. It's almost like they chose those colors because of the emblem, which, you know, you would hope that most places would do, but obviously with some of these examples it didn't exactly go that way. I'm gonna put it in C tier. Again, more creativity would be great, but it's not terrible. Next is the flag of Detroit, and this one's all over the place. At least it's different, but different doesn't always mean good. There's a lot going on. You can see that parts of the American flag, the US flag, are in there, but then there's also other stuff that I'm assuming probably has to do with Detroit's history. It's not really selling it for me. It just feels like way too much is going on. Your attention is kind of all over the place with it. I don't like this one. I'm sorry. Next, we have the flag of Columbus, Ohio. And I wouldn't say it's Detroit bad, but here we go. It's got the same colors as the San Diego flag, just, you know, the red and the yellow are flipped and the white in the center is bigger. But it's definitely worse than the San Diego flag. I'd even say it's worse than the New York flag, because that emblem looks like it was made in Microsoft Paint by a kindergartner. None of the colors work. The emblem does not look like it fits whatsoever. Like I said, it looks like a child made it. 100% worse than New York's, but I think I'd still fly that flag over Detroit's personally. Next is the flag of Atlanta, Georgia. I like it better than Boston's. It's simple, and a lot of US states and cities have this strange issue where they just put their emblems on navy blue backgrounds. It's so common, it's not even funny. But this isn't bad, you know? The eagle with the spread wings and then obviously like the cutouts with like the blue showing through the emblem, it actually doesn't look all that bad. It looks kind of cool, but it's not creative. It's not like it's different. It's not interesting. I would fly it over, say, Miami's. I'm not gonna put it any higher because it just doesn't have creativity. Next is the flag of Denver. So first off, I understand that maybe a few of you are looking at me like, oh, but you know, it's got these creative emblems. They have all these elements and stuff. It's like, you have to understand that I'm talking from a design standpoint. That is the whole purpose of this channel. And although a lot of the flags that I'm putting higher up, say like Chicago's flag or Des Moines' flag, are a lot simpler, use simpler shapes, they still maybe use like 1 or 2, maybe 3 colors. You have to understand that the way that you play around with these shapes, these colors, determines how good a flag or an emblem is. It's not just about putting them on there, it's about how you put them on there. I said this in a previous video. I think it was the esports org one. Purpose is important. If you can take the simplest of shapes, colors in design and have a good purpose and make them work with that purpose very well in a way that is creative, that is going to leave a mark in history. The ones that I'm putting higher up, yes, they are very simple, but they have purpose. Now we have Denver's flag. And again, it's very simple. You have simple red triangles on top of simple white triangles with a navy blue sky and then a yellow circle representing the sun. But it works. It's very obvious that since this is Denver, it's next to the Rocky Mountains. You have the sun, yellow circle, peeking through a valley in the mountains. Why? Because Denver is in a valley. It's the simple, minimalistic designs that have a good purpose and are designed and formatted well, that translate well, that speak volumes, and this is one of those. Denver's flag, 100% S tier. Look at that. It's fantastic. Next, we have the flag of Houston, and I'll give it a slight edge. I'll put it over Miami. It's again emblem, city seal on a blue background, but this time it has a white star around it because, you know, it's Houston, Texas, Lone Star State. Not terribly interesting, but I'll give them at least a little credit for throwing this star in there. All right, following up, we have the flag of Las Vegas. Now, yes, blue background, again. City seal, yes, again. But I'll give them a slight bit of credit. They put it up near the top in a corner, and there's a gray stripe going diagonally down this flag. It's not crazy, but at least they try to reposition it to be a little bit different, and I'll give them some credit there. I'll throw it above Houston's 100%. Actually, just for that difference, even though I like the way that the emblem or Atlanta's works a little bit more, just because it's all one color and it doesn't have all these clashing colors on the emblem, I'm still gonna throw Las Vegas as a little bit higher just for the format shift. Next is the flag of Minneapolis, Minnesota. This is another one that uses the city seal, or maybe they're just symbols that represent the city of Minneapolis. They've positioned it off to the left. They have a white flag with a blue triangle that goes down the center, starting from the left. It's a very simplistic design, yes. Some people may argue that you could put it up there with that of Des Moines, of Chicago, and of Denver. I'm gonna put it in B tier. I don't think that it's necessarily up there, but it's definitely at least got a slight bit more difference than the ones underneath, where they just take their existing city seal and just slap it on some plain colored background. I'll give them a little bit of credit just for kind of working with it a little bit more. Next, we have the flag of Nashville, Tennessee. It's a little bit different, okay? So on the right side, you have the yellow stripe with like a slight white stripe going down, a white circle that surrounds the city seal, which also happens to have what look like sun rays around it. So it's better. It's definitely better than a lot of these other flags that have city seals on them. It has a little bit more creativity. I'm going to throw it in B tier just for throwing a few extra little elements like the stripes on the right side. The white circle kind of helps a little bit. The fact that the city seal is like at least a little bit different, in which it's not just a circle. It's got like the sun rays kind of around it. That helps it a lot. So I wouldn't say I put it above Minneapolis's, even though, you know, some people would probably argue that I would. I'm saying the only reason I'm going to put it under Minneapolis's flag is just because, you know, it's technically still just another city seal on a plain background. They just threw in these subtle little elements to sort of help it a little bit. So I'm gonna put it there. This is purely my opinion. Of course, you know, you could all have your own opinions. Next, we have the flag of Phoenix, Arizona. This is one of my favorites, definitely. It's very simple. Okay, it's got the burgundy background with a phoenix emblem, a phoenix logo, like, you know, of the bird. The way that they kind of made this emblem just look like it's kind of like like they made the phoenix look like it's a circle, you know. They try to keep it in that like circular form instead of like just say having like the bird with like wings spread, kind of like, you know, maybe like a typical bird you'd see on a flag. It looks like it has like the wings kind of curving up, and you can see the phoenix head, and it looks like it's all like flowing, kind of like fire does, you know, like it's like this giant like flowing fireball almost. It's a very, very simple design, but it's so effective. It is so incredibly effective. Like, it looks fantastic. For the minimalism that it has, it looks great. Phoenix's, for me, is 100% an S tier. It takes the simplicity, it takes the minimalism, and it uses it well. Next, we have the flag of Seattle, Washington. And Seattle's is another flag that I do like quite a lot. It looks like it has sort of like a city seal kind of thing in the middle with these like kind of like loop curve twist looking things around it, but also ones that kind of like spread past it towards the top left, which are supposed to represent waves since Seattle is along the Pacific Ocean. Again, it's another very simplistic design. Even the seal in the middle is using the exact same color completely as the rest of the flag. It's white and it's like an aquamarine type color. Very simple. The fact that they don't have the waves around the entire flag, I would say, is actually helpful almost. Some people would argue that maybe you should put it around the entire flag, and I could also see how that would still look very nice. But I don't know why that subtlety of just having the waves coming in from one direction, it makes a lot of sense, because although Seattle is right along the Pacific Ocean, note that it's only coming from like one point, right? It's not like they're completely surrounded by ocean. Having the seal there isn't bad. I don't know why it kind of like lowers it just a little bit for me. The fact that they made it work with just like by keeping it as like the same color as the rest of the flag does help it a lot. Though I'm 100% going to throw this in A tier. It's a very nice looking flag. I do like it a lot. Next is the flag of St. Louis, Missouri. Now, not to talk on the city, you know, the city is its own thing, but on its flag itself, it's not bad. It's really good, actually. I do like this. The triangle on the side, it's like these wavy blue and white lines, and then of course the whole background is red with like this little French military symbol that is in the yellow circle in the middle. And of course, these blue and white wavy lines have a purpose. It's because St. Louis is near the conjunction of two rivers, being the Illinois River and the Mississippi River. So I think this flag design is absolutely fantastic. I love it. Easy S tier for me, 100%. It's a fantastic looking flag. It's done right. Lastly, we have San Francisco's flag, which, what the hell is this? This kind of goes back to Columbus, Ohio's flag. It looks like it was made in Microsoft Paint. It has San Francisco at the bottom in basic font with blue letters, yellow on the top and bottom, and a phoenix that looks like it was just wrung through a car wash. I think I'd rather have Detroit's flag over this, to be honest. But that was ranking 19 US city flags. Obviously, this was supposed to be for a lot of major US cities. I did miss a lot. There are quite a few more major US cities that I could think of, you know? But that's because, you know, I don't want to make this video crazy long. But if you guys do want to see me rank the designs of other flags in the future, let me know. Anyway, if you guys did enjoy this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn on the post notifications, follow me on all my socials, my Twitter, my Instagram, my Twitch, my TikTok. All those are down in the description. Subscribe to my second channel. I'm going to be posting random stuff on there. A lot of random stuff. And I hope that wherever you guys are, whenever you guys are watching this video, you have a great and wonderful day. And I will see you guys in my next video. Peace out. My brother love me, yeah. We all get money, yeah, yeah, yeah. I love my brother love